Well, hello, and welcome back to 14 of the D7 battle cruisers. Today we're actually going to start doing some detail painting around the nacelles and other areas of the ship that need some extra painting and detail painting. So let's go take a look. Okay, here we are. It's been a moment. I've gotten a few things done since it's last been seen. Painting's looking really good. The top is looking really good. Did the darker gray on the top. Got it all sanded, and these edges, these little 45 bevels, all nice and cleaned up. And went through and did some of the silver parts. Got the silver in there. I decided to do that little teardrop in a silver, but leave the little circular half dome green. That came out really nice. A lot of the work's been done back here towards the nacelles. Of course, we got the darker gray here that'll go with the top when the top gets finally fastened on, and did the silver here, and that's looking really good. And one thing I do like that I did is brought that gray right underneath there too, and attached those two points, because I think they kind of wrap around, and just put a piece of masking tape there and did that way. What else do we do? I got the silver part there on the nacelles ends, and I did a gun steel on these edges. I know the cannon, it's just green with a silver stripe, but I want to try to tie, these D7s in with the next version, which would be the Katinga. So I figured I would, make those engine tails a black like the Katinga is. And that gun steel is great because you can kind of see the reflection has a little silver metallic in it. And I always just thought that the just all green kind of looked toyish to me. It kind of looked unfinished. It's like those things are there and they look like they should be something different to them, than the rest of the nacelle. The way they, curve, and these are just pretty much rounded off rectangles. So it always seemed to me like that should be something different than just green, even though they're not like real thrusters or anything, but and again, it helps tie it in with the Katinga, because that's what they did with the Katinga. And it's just things that happen when they had more budgets and stuff. When the original series was out, they changed, they did it simple. Build the kit. It's for a TV show. Don't go crazy. Even that extra little painting it's time. And I just hand painted these. Same thing with like doing that. This whole gray area here. Wonderful thing about these craft acrylics, you thin them with some really good with some water, and you can get in there. Takes more coats, but that's okay. To mask all this off and to deal that, yeah. I mean, the green I already sealed, so when I put this on, even if I can just take either a wet Q-tip, or I can take this and just kind of scrape that edge sharp, and then it's great. And you can do that with other acrylics too. I've done it a lot on the Falcon and stuff like that. And like this edge, I just took and just kind of scraped I just painted right over the whole thing. That way I would get a nice good edge once I took this blade and I just scraped it away. And then to really clean it, I just took sandpaper and I gave it that even smooth edge. And then I took a wet Q-tip and did that, which softened the edge. And then eventually went and did a clear to seal that once it looked good. And it made it so much easier to get all up under, especially under the beam there. you know, and around the cylinder, you know, I knew I was going to get shaky, and you know, where the brush just happens to push in, and then I could just go and, but, so that works great, and that's what I did, you know, with the silver too. Although the metallic paints are a little bit harder to kind of scrape and clean, they're a little more elasticy or something, you know, like you go to peel them and they stretch, like these grays, these simple pigments, they just scrape right off and flake off, you know, nice and even. But I'm finding, like, when I was cleaning up this area, because I want this edge underneath, I want that silver, but I still want that lip that you see where it insets to be green, and I was trying to clean some of that out, and it was starting to stretch. And it might be a sticking issue too, it bonding to the next other layer, you know, maybe scuffing it a little bit would help it, you know, toothing it up. But it worked. We got it going. So, and that was the same way with cleaning these edges, you know, because they're going to be a solid green. But, you know, I just painted right over any little poops, you know, no big deal. And then I just took this and scraped, and it gives you that good edge. And as long as this other coat is sealed really good, the only thing you're going to maybe scratch into a little bit is the clear, so you won't lose that green color. So yeah, it's looking good. I'm really happy with it. And I went ahead and did these silvers, and even that ahead of time, even though this whole ship's probably going to go into more of a flatter paint. Although I am kind of liking the sheen of I think I'm hitting it. What am I hitting it with? A matte? Let me see. I think it's a matte clear. Yeah, it's not looking too bad as a matte clear. So I don't know. I might leave it as a matte clear. Most of this is scuffed where I got rid of the humps and there was, you know, cat hair and dirt. So it's not as shiny, but like on the edges, these engines here where I hit, I might actually leave it a matte color. So, but still, the matte, you know, clears and shiny metallic paints kind of get a little funny. So I'm a little worried that, you know, you're going to lose that shine. But I figured just to get a base under there, then I can clear it, and then I can go lightly over with the silver again, and to bring it back to a shine. Or, you know, you can tape it off and do a clear. But again, you know, clears will make silvers especially go weird. I had that issue a lot with the NX1. Full gloss seemed to work with at least the craft acrylic silvers. It didn't change it terribly too much, and then I could do a satin over top, and it worked okay. But that's the main body of the ship, and I just went and did a last coat on these because it was so, I made it so thin so I could paint, and it levels really nice at these little hard edges here on there. The paint would actually pull away, you know, when it dries. So we got all that looking good. And I wanted to get these painted before I put the caps on. And this is actually for the Romulan version, but I figured while I had the gunmetal out, I'd paint those. And that's the other change that I'm doing, is I'm painting those like the back half, like the Katinga. I'm pretty much doing like the Katinga on this whole back half of the knee, so it'll look like that. But, and here's the actual ones that go on this ship. I'm going through right now and doing the green, but that's them. I still have, and I did the gunmetal first because it's easier then to come by with the green and make a nice sharp edge. Use a good brush, which I should hit with water because I've been letting it sit here for a while, drying. There we go. But yeah, let's get another coat on these. These will get the light gray for the. I'm gonna stir this up again. I could use my little mixer, but this works fine. And it looks like I'm gonna have enough of this mixed up paint to do what I need, and that's always the scary thing. Always mix enough paint, especially that's the nice thing about these craft acrylics. They're inexpensive, so if you have too much, you can always put it in a container that'll, if you got an old paint bottle. I keep all my old paint bottles when they run out, clean them out, and they work good for your own paint. Just peel the old label off. Like you can take a Tamiya bottle like this when you're done with it. Just peel the label off. Who cares about the color here? And you just put a piece of tape and mark what you used it for or what. And it'll keep the craft acrylics for a long time. And you can revive them with a little more with water. So let's go and finish this guy. It's just so much easier to, and this is definitely calling for a hand paint, because to mask all that would just suck. And then making this, and it's a good thing that's really thin, it's thinned out for the airbrush, is that I can kind of just touch it on there and it flows almost like a thin, extra thin model cement. Like the Tamiya extra thin model cement. You can kind of touch it and it'll flow right into the, right along the, where you want it to go. Like for now it's going right along the raised pieces. That I already painted the gun steel. I started painting these green first and I'm like, it's going to be easier. It's going to be harder for me to go by with the gun steel. So over here it's all one flat plane. So I can just run my brush nice and even. And like I said, since this green is so thinned out, I barely even have to go right up to the edge. It just pretty much flows. Yeah. The thing about it being so thin is it'll take a couple coats to get a good coverage, and there was little spots where I did have the gun steel flow onto the part that's going to be green, so it takes a little bit of the more of the green to cover that, because you're using a light to cover a dark. But it gives you a nice crisp edges, and it's hard to see in this camera, but it does give you nice crisp edges without any masking. It just takes a little more patience, like I said, because you gotta add so many coats. But one thing you want to do before you get to the part where you want this color, like the green, to meet the gun steel part, you always want to hit, because your brush is going to carry a lot of paint. When you first touch it, it'll, you're going to have a little more paint. I always touch a big area, like doing that area. I'd first touch way out here with the gray and then bring it into the edge, just to get rid of the excess paint. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot. And we'll do the same with the D7 Romulan version. But yeah, I figure I would take the artistic liberty to tie these in with the Katinga, with having the black back halves. And the other thing that the Katinga does have is it does have that ring that's the color of the main hull, and that makes sense. It looks cool. Because like I said before, it just didn't, I don't know, it looked toyish, and like toys cut corners, like they won't paint everything. It just looked kind of toyish if it was green. It just didn't look right. Didn't look mechanical, I guess, either, Yeah, we're almost there. Maybe one more pass. And then, you know, sometimes get it going so I can just keep putting layers, because it's always good to let it dry because then it levels. Sometimes you get towards the end, I like to let them air dry by themselves, but to keep adding passes, I'll use the old hair dryer. Sorry, it's loud. Use the hair dryer, and that allows you to keep going again. Because if you keep trying to add paint and these are wet or still wet, sometimes you adding the wet paint will actually soften the coat you have under, and they'll want to lift up, and so it's always good before each coat to let it dry. But the nice thing is you can just hit it with the hair dryer and you're good to go. Pretty much there. Not really. And really what I'm looking for now is just the evenness, you know. I pretty much hit all the areas that I can see the black where the gun steel touched, where I'm painting the green. So if we cover that, then we should be pretty good. Yeah, I'll just for giggles I'll do one more because it gives it a little more stability. That's the hard part, because that cylinder part doesn't really have an edge when it gets way out here, so I kind of gotta concentrate in that spot. For the rest of them I can just kind of, this brush is nice, it's real thin and tiny, and you can get in that edge without putting too much paint going up, you know, that one. Up the wall that's been painted gun steel. Yeah, that's nice. Always do a little extra just to give it some thickness to the. And again, I'm really happy with the green that I came up with. You have to say. I've seen a lot of other people's greens. They're either like a, you know, more of that darker green. Polar Lights has that lit, that already pre-painted. 1/1000th scale one that you just snap together. And there's even a lighter limer green in this. So I kind of wanted that in between, and I think I came up with something that I like a lot. And it goes good with the grays that I chose, so. That edge is great because you can just go, it's all straight. I like that edge. Plus, given a couple good coats on these look like an end that you would bump into things with. So, more color gives it a little more robust. But I think that's it. I do want to run. Maybe I'll wait. Let's see. No, let's try. Let's make sure this is mixed up. See what happens. down in there. So I'm seeing a little bit of a seam there. Actually, I think the glue still didn't set well. When I glued that. So it's causing a little crack. Nothing major. Hopefully it won't do something over time. There we go. Just want to see what that does. Oh, you know what? Why I have the green out? There's a little weirdness around these silver parts. And now I gotta be careful what I touch, because that's drying. Here, let's do this. Sorry, it's gonna get loud. The head dryer. Here we go. That way, that's dry now. And like I said, that leveled out pretty good, and I can just hit that really quick with some sandpaper before I do my final clear. Yeah, there was a little indent there. It's almost like I want to pull that down, because I want to see that really good. Just to crispen up that edge there. Because like I said, to even scrape it, it was being stubborn. Oh yeah, that's way better. That worked really good. We'll do the other side too. Beautiful. Oh, there's that. Whatever happened there too. Hit that with some green. There we go. Let's see if I can get this way. So I think it'll be better to tack it from this edge. Maybe. Really good. Sweet. I really like that. Up you go. Yeah, and I can just come. Do I have? Yeah. Lightly. Sand off the excess. Although it leveled itself out, even by itself, really nice. Alrighty. But there we go. Let's get this soaking. Clean that brush up. Yeah, but alright. And now those look really good. And they should actually dry already. And now I feel good to glue those on, but I think I'll hit them while they're like this with a little clear. But yeah, and then we'll glue those on. And let me pull the other Romulan ship. I haven't worked on her in a while. But, oh yeah, I always like, yeah, so that's looking good. I'm really happy with her. We're almost there. It's all this small little tedious time, which I like the painting, and I do like that I can do some hand painting. Let's close this up. And here, like, this container is simple. This is like probably from like a fast food thing, or whatever. You might get salsa or something in it, or whatever. And I keep all that stuff. Or sometimes I even, like, if I'm at Burger King or something, or fast food, or any restaurant that has these little containers, sitting out, I'll grab the extras. Like, I have little ketchup things, They just make good little paint things, but these are nice, that you got a lid that you can seal it with. And they're good and disposable, So, but as far as this one, make sure my hands don't have any green on them. She's looking really good too. But we got to do all the, this gray up here, which I'm going to try to do here in a little bit, and get the gray down here, the darker gray. Do the same thing. We're going to do the same thing here and do the silver, and I don't have to do the silver in here because it's going to have the chrome pieces that are going to go on there, so I just have to do the black gun steel on that. Saving all these pieces for later. I might do this silver first before it gets all clear, and then we'll touch it up to get it shiny again. But yeah, see, that's the matte already. And it has a little bit of a, so I might want to go more to a satin or just straight up flat. I'm not sure. But that's easy to mess with afterwards. Yeah, so we'll do the darker grays here, and we'll kind of just like that, but in its colors. Darker gray here, we'll leave this that lighter gray. I think I'm just going to leave those the lighter gray and do the silver, and pretty much a replica of that, but in these colors, like I said. But she's looking really good too. Yep. Got to get those window holes that are on this ship on there too, and the ones on here. But yeah, I've just been letting this one, trying to work at one at a time. This one I'm not even, I like to keep them going at about the same rate, but I also have to sand those areas to let the light come through a little bit, and then do a quick light mist of the gray like I did here. And that's kind of probably what's been holding this one up, because I really want to do that first before I start messing with painting here. So, and that is kind of time consuming, but not as much now that I know I can just go right at it. But the biggest thing is not to mess with these detail parts right there, those bars. So, but yeah, I gotta get trucking on that. Once I get that done, then I can just start doing the painting. I mean, I could always do this upper part, and that's what I might do tonight, just to start looking like there's some progress on her. But again, like that one, I could just let sit even for a while, because it's looking like it's going to be a bit before I get the decals for it anyway. I haven't heard anything, and I can always email JT, see how things are going, but I don't want to bother him too much. I know he's got he's busy, and he's got a situation where things are just taking longer. And he was kind enough to make sure, saying, hey, if you can't wait, don't order, You might not want to order, because it's going to be a while. And there's no rush. I got everything for this one, so. And it hasn't been, I'm not even sure how long it's been ago. It's been since I ordered it. And I should have ordered them like anything right when I started. But I figured usually, I didn't realize that there was an issue yet with the decals. So usually, I know I'd have them in a week or two. But like I said, we'll get them, because it's going to be so much more worth it. Little hairs, especially his graphics are really nice, and that bird motif, that Romulan bird under here is going to look, but on the other one, but it's going to look good, and his looks really nice. So, what else we got to do here? Yeah, I think it's getting time to start finishing the wiring too, which is really just putting a resistor on this SMD and attaching there, and then getting a wire coming up main to come up that way. But still got a little bit more things to do. But it's gonna have to get done soon, because I'm eager to get this top glued down. Really eager to get this top glue down. And I can get the silver. I'd like to get this silver done in here first before I glue it down. And oh yeah, and we got to get the clear part back there. So that's going to be cool. And I am noticing a weird. Can I put that down? No, that one's sitting good. I was wondering if my little pieces here are getting in the way, but no, they shouldn't. But we'll get our tails and get them tied to that. But I at least like to get the tails. I could almost solder them right to that. Just take these and go. But it's nice to have a tail, because then I have some leeway. I'll pretty much do that, though. That would reach. Okay. It'd be tough to solder. I could always do something like that. That might be the way to do it. I got enough wire here. Yeah. It's alright. Well, I'm gonna shut the camera off, and I'll give these a clear and start getting things together, and then I'll give you another update. And maybe I'll show you on the other one. Maybe I'll show you me doing that, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just the tedious of going around here and taking your time. And usually what I do is start doing that a couple coats. I'll do that, all the cutting in around that, and then I'll come out and start doing all that. And by that time, it's actually dry where we first went, and then you just do it all again. And I tacked one part at a time here and then there. The toughest part on like that is that line there, and getting gray up in there. But yeah, so until then, I'll see you soon. Well, hello. Welcome back. I just finished the back part of the engines and got them glued on. And there it is. That looks really good. Let's see if I can, it's hard with the camera. Get her like that. They look really good. Green kind of definitely ties the, you know, the original green back there. Doing it around that rim and doing the black parts on the back. I just think it gives it more character and, you know, ties it into more like the Katinga is. It came out really well. Flip it over here. Yeah. I'm definitely liking that. So I figure I'd just show you a quick update of those glued on, and put this on. I just taped that little grill on there real quick. So just do a little dry fit there to see what she looks like, but yeah, it's coming along. Front parts stick out. That's alright, I just taped it on because I want to save those to the end. But yeah, I'm happy with that. She's looking good, but yeah, I'm really happy with the way those nacelle ends look. I'm glad I did that. Like I said, it just gives it more character. You know, instead of it just being this green, all one color nacelle. You know, and like I said before, it definitely ties the lineage of this style of battle cruiser. I can't wait to do the Romulan version too. I think that's going to look really good. But yeah, here's a better look at what's going on up here. The focus on this camera is horrible. But yeah, that's looking great. Spin her around so you can see the other side. And she's coming along. Really excited. Can't wait till she's finished. And gotta keep trucking on with this one. But I figure I'd give you an update and see how that looked, because I'm really happy with it. And then I think the next thing we'll do is just actually get this glued down. Get the top glued down on it. But first we gotta do the inside parts. Gotta get it. I have a clear piece that's gonna go back in there so that the grill back there, that'll give it the color. And I'm gonna paint the clear part a red, so because I have a flickering LED, so I'll give that flickering effect back there. These I just use straight up red to light the front impulse deck grill. So hopefully that'll work, because I got to paint some silver in the inside parts of those grills, because that's the way it was in Canon, you know, on the original model, that the inside of the grills were silver. So I can brush that on, and whatever I get on this gray I can just wipe off with water. But I got to do it real thin so that the light can still shine through, because it's going through, already going through. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, I mean, it's shining pretty good. Going through all that plastic there. Let's see if I can get. Yeah, because that's all just plastic, and then I hit it with some window maker to hopefully pull some of the light towards evenly, and get rid of any of the hot spots too. But you know, with it not silver in there, it looks good. So we'll see what it'll look like once we put silver. But I think if I thin it out real bit, just to give it the effect that you can see some silver in there, I think that's all we need. And I'll use that acrylic silver that I've been using on everything else, on all the other parts. And I'll just thin it real light, just to give that effect. You can see that it is silver in there, you know. But alright, well, thank you. I just wanted to, like I said, give you an update on how she's looking, and hopefully when I come back next, we will have I'll show you doing the insides there, what it looks like when it's at least wired and ready, and then we'll glue this top down, get all the wiring together, and get a wire out the bottom, and then I can start working on the post. I think I'm still going to try to use the little hinge pieces here to allow you to kind of tilt the ship in different ways. And I've done it before, and you just run wire up through. You take them apart like that, and I'll just drill a hole right through that bigger hole and come right out this round ball end, and then on the other end just drill straight through. This part will actually go into the ship, which take the lid off. Yeah, it'll just stick. In like that, and then this snaps in there, and that way it gives me the ability to tilt the ship in different ways when it's displayed. So, and I'm not sure what if I should just leave them black, or if I should, I don't know, paint them a different color. I'm not sure, but that's going to be cool. And then I'll use the magnet wire, because it's a little more, you know, it'll take the, it'll be thinner because its insulation is an actual coating that they kind of spray on there, so you know, it'll be, I don't have to drill such a big hole through the ball, so it gives it plenty of room for it to move. And make this, and then when you make this hole a little bit bigger too, like this, you just make, I'll make just enough for the positive and negative to come through, and then on this I'll drill it quite bigger on this piece, so that way the wire can move around pretty good through all that. We'll see if it works. I've done it before on another model and it worked fine, so, but there we have it. So until next time, see you soon.